Yo, yo, it's your boy Uncle Pre with another episode of the Unfiltered Podcast. Your boy's looking kind of like dapper today, yeah, finally get to wear this beautiful jacket. Shout out Season Clothing. This is actually looking so naughty right now. It's the first time I'm wearing this, I can't lie. Very irrelevant to the podcast episode, but yeah, today on the Unfiltered Podcast, I am going to be touching base on this topic. What do you have to prove? And what I mean by that is, like, I had this conversation with a client of mine recently, and like we just kept going round and round in circles, and it stood out to me like a sore thumb. You consciously feel you need to prove something to someone. It's been one of the biggest revelations I've had in my coaching experience, and what I've learned about myself and what I was trying to prove and who to, and what it was doing to me subconsciously. And now I have this opportunity to be able to pass it on to my clients in our sessions that we have. But it was something I wanted to bring to your attention. I believe we are all programmed right now to venture off into life with something to prove. And what I mean by that is we have to prove our success, our finances, our status, our relationship statuses, our wealth, our health, our growth. All of this stuff has to be put out there in some sort of graph or whatever, and we need to prove it. Yo, this is where we're at. We're good. We're fine. And it's like, why? And it's a question that some people can't really answer without digging deep. And when you get to the nitty gritty and the deep stuff around it, you actually realize that, yo, man, I've been trying to prove to my mum, to my dad, that I'm good, that I'm successful. And what are you doing by consciously working stupid hours a day to prove to your parents that you're a hard worker, when deep down you know you're a hard worker? Let's take the same example, but at work. Are you trying to prove to your boss that you're committed? You really want this? We look at it in regards to our relationship status. What are you trying to prove? That you're trying to keep the needle moving? Like, it sounds a bit repetitive, but if you deep it, a lot of our actions that we're taking right now in life are on the back end of we having to actually get other people validate that we're doing good. That's not healthy. When you're consciously persisting about doing things in a certain way to get a thumbs up, to get a seal of approval, like, you then start living your life doing things with constant comparisons, and you start living your life doing things just to please other people, just to prove to them that I can do it. Why aren't you proving it to yourself first versus everyone else? I asked my client this and they couldn't answer the question, but we knew deep down it was a family situation and having to prove that I've got this. I'm powering through, proving to you that I can be successful. I'm proving to you that I'm financially stable. I'm proving to you. And I empathize because I was in that scenario where I felt I had to consciously keep proving myself that I'm not a failure. I'm not a fuck up. I'm not someone that's just going to give up. I'm not someone that isn't going to succeed. I'm not someone that you can be not proud of. I went through that experience. I know the feeling. But now I feel like I don't need to prove anything to anyone. And the transition between that has allowed me to be a lot more expressive, unfiltered, and genuinely a lot more happier in regards to my life. You hear me say all the time, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I can appreciate that. This podcast is going to work for a number of people, not everyone, and I get that. I'm okay with what it's doing and the level of impact it has. If I felt like I had to prove myself consciously, I wouldn't enjoy this process. I wouldn't be happy at recording a video right now where I know that camera right there is very blurry. That one's all right. That one over there is cool. If I tried to prove that this was like perfect, it'd eat up inside of me. Right now, it's a case of I don't. Got one here that's working perfectly. It is what it is. The sound's doing all right. I feel like the microphone's doing a good job. It's progress. I'm not having to prove anything to anyone. If you take the podcast out of context and we look at it by like my relationship status, I'm not trying to prove to anyone in regards to like being single is great or it's not great. There's nothing to prove. I'm just living my life the best way I've got to live it. And I feel like sometimes we're in this scenario where we need to tell the world that I'm doing fantastic, when consciously maybe you are a bit depressed and you are a bit upset, but you're now faking it. You're working excessively hard just to say that, yes, I can get by. When deep down, yo, you want some help. You need someone to hold your hand to get you through whatever it is that you're going through. And when we allow this concept of we needing to prove things to people, we put ourselves in a very dark place in regards to what it's going to do to us long term. The ramifications it can have, that we're okay, we can get by. I can prove it to you that I'm going to make it. I can prove it to you that I'm going to be successful. I could prove it to you that I'm going to hit those targets. You put yourself in uncomfortable scenarios, which is good. I appreciate people being in uncomfortable scenarios because you start to learn making the uncomfortable comfortable. But if you're not happy doing that, if you're drained doing that, is that healthy? Like, I don't believe myself right now to be a failure. I don't believe myself to be someone that's not met my potential or the expectations that people have put on my shoulders. I don't take much interest to any of that stuff. Like, I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I know what energy I bring. If I apply to a job right now and they say no, cool, respectfully, thanks. It possibly is your loss, or maybe we just weren't going to work out, and that's fine. I don't have to prove myself to you. I can show you what I can bring to the table, and if you don't like that, that's fine. And that's not me being arrogant or me being rude. It's just me purely saying respectfully, was it meant to be? And that's fine. I don't need to bend over and do cartwheels to prove to you that I'm good at what I do. I don't need to stay up late to prove to you that I'm a hard worker. I possibly can get the job done in the time allocated. It's a big spin on things because I feel like sometimes we put ourselves in scenarios where we have to go above and beyond. We do have to bend over backwards, and we put ourselves in these very difficult scenarios where we have to prove something to someone when really we don't. The minute I realized that I wasn't a fuck up, I was actually doing great. I've excelled in certain areas and I've also fallen short in others, but I'm still great, was the biggest revelation, because I feel like I never had to go home and prove my worth anymore. I didn't have to prove that I was good enough. I already knew I was. Now, you may have an opinion on me. You may think that you could have done better. You could have done this. You could have done that. That's fine. That's fantastic. I'll take that with a pinch of salt and maybe I'll learn from it and possibly try to digest it, but I don't have to. And the choice is mine. Your definition doesn't highlight to me that I am not good enough anymore. It sounds a bit waffling, it sounds a bit weird, but what I'm trying to get at is that, like, there are situations where I have had clients generally feel that they need to reach the high levels and prove to people that life is good, when right now life may not be good because of certain circumstances, and that's okay. Admit that, accept that, and it's a difficult thing for people to do. I accepted the fact that I'm not where I possibly would have liked to have been a number of years ago, but where I am right now, it is what it is, and I'm enjoying it. I accept the fact that I'm going to have my bad days, and I don't have to prove to you that I'm okay. I'll let you know I'm not. It's a big spin. There is a big spin, and when you start to deep it, when you start to think of it in different angles, like the way I'm doing right now, I feel like it will add a level of relief. And what I mean by that relief is I feel like it will take a weight off your shoulders once you start putting into place that this isn't doing me any justice anymore. You generally put yourself in a lane where you're driving a lot more freely, knowing that you may go over speed bumps and you may like have accidents and mistakes along the way, but it's okay because it's your journey and there's nothing else to prove. People need to start hearing that it's all right being in your lane, doing what you're doing and living the life you're living, and not necessarily having the joys you possibly want right now, and it's okay because you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You will find your way, and if you consciously keep applying yourself in regards to it's your career, your relationships, your statuses, your health, wealth, whatever it is, things will happen. I'm going to leave it as that. As long as you're happy, that's the most important thing, because some of us are not happy when we try to prove. If anything, we're pissed off half the time. We feel lost, confused. We feel like we're in this place right now where everyone else is excelling. It's not healthy and it pisses me off, and yeah, just wanted to get that off my chest. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Please do like, comment and subscribe. Thank you a lot for listening. It's been your boot. I need to stop talking right now. Thank you a lot for listening. It's been your boy Uncle Pre, and I'm signing out. Peace.